Hello, my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good night, good night, good night. We're coming in from the Eastern Standard Time of 8:45, but I had to get my friend in who's in California. It is 5:45 over there. I'm so excited to have Dr. Ken Stewart in tonight. Dr. Ken Stewart um is a graduate of Oakwood College, now University, with a bachelor's degree in biology. He has a master's in public health and a doctorate in public health from Loma Linda University. I'm so excited to have him. Listen, tonight we're going to be talking about the cost of loss drugs, and I don't usually tout my credentials, but my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. I have a PhD in molecular pharmacology and a postdoctoral in neuroscience. I am also a graduate of Oakwood,
Oh,
Oakwood University. We graduated together from a same biology degree there. And I'm so excited to have you, Ken. Hey, how are you doing?
thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a couple years, but hey,
Long
I'm glad to
time.
be on.
Long time. We were talking about how we were competing for front row seats in Bio One.
Yeah, trying to get
Yeah.
that great.
Yeah. It was a good time. Listen, I need you guys, those of you who are watching, I see a few of you watching. Of course, my mother is watching. I need you to like and share this. This is an important message for phenomenal financial freedom. Before we get into that, I do want to remind you that Phenomenal STEMist is in Amazon now. You can find it on Amazon right now. Where's my book? Oh, there it is. Here it is. How to be a successful student from the womb to the university. And of course, please, those of you who are watching, I see people piling in. I guess they're interested in this weight loss drug. Ken,
Hey,
they'll wait till 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to talk about it.
yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Subscribe. Please do that. Please do me a favor and share this. I want to talk about the cost of weight loss drugs. So there has been a massive influx within the past 4 years or so. So
Mhm.
there have been multiple weight loss drugs in the past, right? But there have been this specific to what's the name of the biological name for this drug? I can't remember.
GLP
Well,
one.
well, well, that's the name of
Oh,
the
Ozempic
protein.
Wegovy. Ozempic.
Yes, Ozempic and Wegovy, they have a scientific name, segrilitude or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. But the first thing is these two drugs, one was approved in 2017.
Hmm.
Ozempic was approved in 2017 from the FDA for specifically diabetes.
Yep.
Number two, Wegovy was just approved 2 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a flood of people taking this thing. We'll talk about this a little later. It was approved in 2021. Tell me about it. What is it the same drug, Ken?
It's the same drug. It's the same drug. Like I mentioned in my video, they're twins. Ozempic, Wegovy, they're twins. Same semaglutide, um,
Semiglutamide. That's what it is. Semiglutamide.
semaglutide
Yeah.
um, foundation, and it does a couple of things. But yes, they're the same drug. So basically, they are knockoffs of what is in our body already, and that's called the glucogen-like protein 1.
GLP-1. So I'm gonna leave a little small synopsis of it.
Yes,
GLP-1 is a specialized molecule that gets released from your gut to tell your body to basically take sugar out of the blood. See,
yep,
normally we tell our pancreas to secrete insulin. It tells the muscle, "Hey muscle," which is the main one of the main organs to take glucose from the bloodstream, take the glucose from the blood. But unfortunately, because of our health habits a lot of the times, see if you have type 1 diabetes, something's wrong with your pancreas. That's different. That's what we call childhood, something goes wrong with it. But type 2 diabetes is when the pancreas is saying, "Hey, please take sugar out the blood muscle," and the muscle and the liver refuse to for some reason. They resist it. Well, this GLP-1 will assist in the process of taking the glucose out of the blood.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So Wegovy and Ozempic, which is the same drug, what did you describe it as in terms of cars? I like that description.
Oh, so basically, Ozempic is more or less the Toyota, while Lexus is the Wegovy.
It's just about dosage,
Yes,
meaning it's a smaller dosage. And so, since it's a smaller dosage, it can lead to the removal of sugar from the blood. But somehow they discovered that that same exact drug, if you give it at a higher dosage, it does more than just remove sugar from the blood. All of a sudden, folks start losing a whole bunch of weight. And when they saw that, whenever they approve it for something different, that's why they get different names. This is the only reason why it's Toyota and Lexus. Right?
yes,
That's what we're going to call it from now on. Toyota and Lexus, right? The only reason why it's a Lexus is because they gave it a higher dosage and it's treating a different so called disease. So they gave
yes.
it a different name,
Mhm.
right? But ultimately, these are the targets. What I noticed is that it's, and they're not really saying it. They're like, what is it? What's the reason that Ozempic is only there to remove sugar from the blood, while somehow Wegovy, all of a sudden people are losing massive amounts of weight. I read some papers that says that these things can cross the blood-brain barrier. They can
Yes,
tell the brain to say, "Stop your appetite."
you're
There's
right.
special areas in the brain that GLP-1 receptors are found. Go ahead.
Correct. Yeah, and I'll add to that. The medication suppresses appetite where you're not eating. You don't feel hungry,
Right.
and that is contributing to the weight loss. You're not
Right.
hungry, so you don't eat. So when you don't eat, not a lot of sugar is produced,
Right.
and if you've seen that not a lot of sugar is produced, your risk of diabetes and heart disease and everything else is lowered because
Right.
you're not eating.
But that's listen, guys. This is what's happening. Like, it's not. I don't like when some of these physicians like, "Oh, we don't really we know what's going on." In theory, we don't. It's science. We can't show it beyond a shadow of a doubt. But in my opinion, this thing is targeting the brain and telling the brain to suppress appetite. And there's something that I don't like a lot. I don't like when drugs directly target the brain. Now they say it's secreted in the GI tract. That's why you inject it in your right into your gut. They don't give you the real GLP-1. The reason why is because if they give it to you, it'll get degraded quick.
Mhm.
Here's a difference. They said, well, why couldn't you just give the real GLP-1 and do the same thing? Because if you inject the real GLP-1, then all of a sudden It'll get degraded real fast and it won't work. This drug is difficult to break down, so it stays in the body longer.
You're right. And that's why the prescription is one shot per week.
Yeah.
One
You
shot per week.
inject yourself one time a week
Yeah, and that breakdown occurs for the whole week.
for the whole week, and then it degrades finally, and then you have to inject yourself another day. Every week you got to inject yourself, guys. Every week you got to stick yourself. Now
Correct.
my
Yeah.
question is, for how long, Ken? How long will we have to inject ourselves with this drug to keep losing the weight?
Forever. Forever. So, and the reason why is that you have to maintain that process of GLP-1 knockoff, because the GLP-1 agonist from those two medications is actually a knockoff of the real thing, the
Of the real thing.
GLP-1 hormone. But you have to take it every week from now on. So basically, taking this drug is like being on a diet.
Yeah. You're taking this drug is literally telling your brain to starve yourself for the rest of your life. Every
Basically,
week. How much? How much a month do I have to pay for this drug?
well, I've been doing some research. Roughly $1,400 a month. $1,400
Guys,
a month.
this drug costs $1,400 a month. Do you hear me? 1,400. Let's do the math because this is phenomenal financial freedom. This is under. Let's do the math, right? $1,400 a month is how much? 1,400 times 12.
Oh boy.
$1,400.
Yeah.
I gotta get y'all people in the chat. I see a bunch of y'all out here watching. What is 1,400 times 12? That is $16,000. 1,400 times 12. $16,800
Yes. Yes, it is.
every year. Every year. 1,400 divided by 4. So you're paying $350 for per shot. That's worse than coke crack. I mean, you got a $5 bag. You go get a $5
Mercy.
bag.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably worse because for some people that's their mortgage per month.
Yeah,
$1,400. That's their mortgage.
yeah.
And then on top of that, you know, and I don't want to jump down the rabbit hole, but
Go ahead.
some people can say, you know what? Let me purchase this product and potentially, as you said, you mentioned crack. Let me sell a smaller portion of it off label
Mercy.
because it's doing wonders.
Right. Right. I didn't even think about that part. I
Yeah.
didn't think about that part. So so we know the targets. We say it's the gut, but it's more than the gut. It's the brain too.
Yes.
Right? We know how long you have to take it. You will have to take it forever.
Hmm.
You will have to pay $1,400 a month, and as you know, in supply and demand, cuz currently I'm looking at an article, currently it's in shortage,
Yeah.
right? And so you know how economics work. People will pay for it because they don't want to lose the to gain the weight. Let me ask you a question. What happens if you can't afford it anymore? So you say, okay, I started, I lose my 20 pounds. Because listen, I've seen some things go between 5 pounds a week. I've heard 1/8 of your body weight in a month. If you think about it, if you weigh 180, that means you would lose 20 pounds in 1 month. You would go from 180 to 160 in 1 month.
In
Do
one
you
month.
know that's exciting? That's like, oh my God, I can, you know how much it takes for me to listen, I lost some weight. I've lost 15 pounds. It took me 6 months through diet and exercise and water intake. It took me 6 months to lose 15 pounds. You tell me all I gotta do is inject myself and I lose that 15 pounds in 3 weeks? I can
3 weeks.
understand.
Yeah. But keep in mind you're tied to the medication. And what happens is for you, Dr. Byfield, once you lose that, it'd be harder for you to gain it back because you've incorporated lifestyle changes. While on the back, while for other people taking medication, no focus on lifestyle change, and then God forbid something happened, and then they stop taking the medication, the time that they would have taken is lost because
Mm.
because all that time passed for them to be able to consider making lifestyle changes to be able to keep it off longer. But that wasn't the case because the medication was the focus.
So let me ask you a question. What happens if you stop? Because this is not, for the most part, it's not paid by the by your insurance companies for the most part. So
Well,
many people are paying out of pocket. Go ahead.
that depends. Some
It
insurance
depends. Okay.
companies cover it, some, but others don't cover it. And God forbid you got it covered, and then you go to another job, and the insurance at the other job says, "I'm sorry, it's not covered." So now you're out of luck. You can't afford the $1,400 a month, or they may say, "Hey, here's a coupon for $500," but that's a one-time coupon. So
Right.
now you can't afford it, and now the weight comes back.
So you're saying to me, if I stop it, if I choose to stop the medication today, I'm gonna gain the weight back.
Yes.
You're gonna gain the weight back, guys, and you're gonna gain it back quickly. And who knows the other side effects of what happens when you stop taking drugs? We haven't even this. The drug just came out in 2021, you guys. We have no idea what's gonna happen when you stop taking the drugs. But just like when somebody just goes on a fad diet and starves themselves, they gain the weight back, but then their body reacts violently because they're like the body is saying they for some reason there was no food around. That's what your body's thinking subconsciously. For some reason there was no food around. So I'm going to hold on to this fat for dear life next it's going to be much more difficult
Hmm.
to lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, who takes it the most, or who do you think are being targeted for this drug? How did this drug just magically just blow up?
Well, those who are on TikTok who want to lose 10, 15 pounds initially, but then the target actually is actually for those who will benefit from the drug the most. And now the question is, who will benefit from the drug the most?
Mhm.
People like us. People like us. So the target population are people that look like us. From
So
one,
then,
I'm
go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
So from one perspective, yes, there's a need to address weight gain, want to lose weight, those who are obese. There's a concern to address that. But at the same time, as we get older, as we start looking at what's happening in the world, there's a desire to make changes fast. So that's another factor that's contributing to making changes. So the target population is those who look like me and you.
Yeah, so what's happening now, though they're making it a big fad with the celebrities, right? This is the way I've seen in many cases of unethical type of behaviors when it comes to drugs, right? They use celebrities to blow it up. So first off, it was all these celebrities saying, "Oh, I'm losing so much weight." And
Yeah,
then they move into, "Oh, there's some people who have chronic issues with diabetes, chronic obesity, African American population have disparate, and so now they're starting to target and they're saying, oh, but they can't afford it. My fear is that we start to shift this target to African Americans and really push this drug on us outside of the lifestyle changes that is required for us to lose our weight. Also, outside of the traumatic issues that lead to this behavior,
correct.
right? If you think about it, obesity and a lot of chronic diseases are caused by social determinants.
Hmm.
But rather than fix the social determinants, rather than fix the stressors that are causing this need, right? Let's think about it. The concept of obesity. Many people say, outside of the typical, where some of us, there's some issues where we have thyroid issues, we have some
Yeah.
hormonal this issue. There's some situations where it's a biological, totally biological basis. But many of the time, our obesity is caused by our lifestyle decisions, a lot of the times based on our mental mindset and traumas that we
Mhm.
haven't addressed. And there's a reward system. So when we get stressed, what do? We go and eat. We're not hungry, but when we go through impulsive behaviors, we
Mhm.
go and eat. You understand? That's a brain situation. Obesity a lot of the times is a brain problem.
And to add to that, I teach my clients in terms of intuitive eating. What are your triggers? What are
Right.
your emotional triggers? What
Right.
are your physical triggers? Pain, people eat.
Hmm.
Emotions, you're upset, you're stressed, you eat. Now,
Right.
there's certain foods that you eat when you're stressed, and certain foods that you eat when you're happy and excited. And
Right.
sometimes, even while eating, we may eat too fast, or we're not focused on eating our
Right.
food in front of us because we're so busy. We're so
Right.
busy. And lastly, sometimes we eat when we're not hungry just because it's the time, or I'm staying up too late and I eat. So there are a lot of triggers, like you mentioned, that affect what we do, even though we may not be hungry.
Right. And that's all based on what our brain does. And what I believe is, in spite of what our brain is going through, when we take pharmacological agents, we bypass those traumas, but we don't necessarily heal those traumas. We don't
Yeah,
heal those social determinants that cause our problems. We just give them an expensive drug, which they can't even many times can afford, right?
yeah,
And so my fear is that we use these TikTok videos, we use these celebrities, we use these so-called caring initiatives to target us, right? Meanwhile, we're not changing the social determinants nor our nor the issues that are causing this obesity. And so
correct.
when something shifts and we lose the $1,400 a month, we lose. First of all, why we shouldn't. We need that $1,400 a month to go to a Roth IRA. We're back at phenomenal financial freedom. It's Monday night, y'all. I know we're talking about science, but it's
Yeah,
still Monday night. You need that $1,400 to go in the stock market. You need that $1,400 to go in your student your to break down your student loans. You need that $1,400 to go in your college, your children's college funds, building generational wealth for your children. But you're paying it for the loss of weight at infinitum, guys. Just to remind you, if you start taking that drug for weight loss, you are. I love the way you said it in your video. So if you want to look at Ken Stewart's video, you can go on his Facebook page.
hmm,
He says you lose the control. That was critical for me, Ken.
yeah.
We have a prefrontal cortex that talks to the areas in our brain to shut down that need of reward during stress. That's what the key thing is. Our lower level brain is what is causing us to want to eat. We're getting emotional. That's our lower level brain. But we have a prefrontal cortex that is meant to shut it down. What these drugs are doing is it's doing it for us. It's cutting the impulsivity for us. You understand? So instead of me deciding with my own mind to say, I will not eat impulsively, I take a drug that pharmacologically makes me not eat impulsively. But what do? Now I'm dependent upon the drug. What's the danger of that, Ken?
Dependency. So after a while, it becomes like those other drugs that we see, OxyContin, where
Classic.
so it's not necessarily where you're like addicted, but however, you're, let me say it this way, the fact that you're taking the drug, it suppresses your appetite. You see the weight loss, you see the return. You're saying, hey, let me stay on this because I look good. I'm doing well. I'm losing the weight. People are appreciating how I look. So now it's a feedback where you're taking the drug, positive reinforcement, taking the drug, positive reinforcement, which perpetuates the desire to stay in the drug. But then when you are forced to get off the drug, the whole mindset changes. Or you from one extreme where you feel so good. positive reinforcements to now where, hey, I can't take the drug. I'm getting depressed
Yeah,
because because I don't look the same way. I'm gaining the weight. So now you're, as you said, dependent on the drug.
yeah.
This
You
is
are, because truth be told, we don't know this as yet, but I would hypothesize that if I'm taking a drug to cut my impulsivity when it comes to eating, if I stop taking the drug, my impulsivity is going to come back, and it's going to come back with a vengeance.
stronger.
It's going to come back stronger. And so you think you are impulsive now when you're eating? Stop taking that drug. And we don't know the results yet, because as I said before, this thing was just approved in 2021.
Yeah,
And we haven't gotten the opportunity for people to start getting off the drug, or it's not being reported.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So listen, this has been an awesome conversation. I didn't want it to be too long because I wanted to be power packed, 30 minutes. Is there anything you want to say? Can you tell me about what you do, and how you help clients?
So I work for this medical group out here in California, and I encourage them to focus on lifestyle change. Some clients or some patients are on the track to get bariatric surgery, but they have to lose weight in the interim during our 6-month program. So I encourage them. I give them the education. I give them the facts. But one thing I try to focus on is helping them to translate facts into some type of goal setting to help them achieve their goals. Because I can tell them facts, 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 but unless you internalize it and make changes, small changes, that will help you to achieve your goals. So that's what I do, my 9 to 5. I'm also engaging in weekly um, Facebook Lives where I've talked about Ozempic, Wegovy. This Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about intermittent fasting, how that plays a part in the medication somewhat. But I'm going to be talking about what are 5 points to consider if you are considering intermittent fasting. So stay tuned for that this Wednesday.
I'm a fan of intermittent fasting. Not like, so I eat from 10:30, and I don't eat till I stop eating at 6:30.
Yeah,
So I don't, I'm hungry right now, for instance. I'm like, I'm so hungry, y'all. I'm so hungry, but I'm not that hungry, right?
yeah,
That's my mind trying to, that's my emotions trying to get a popsicle. That's my emotions trying to get chips, cuz I'm
yeah,
hungry for chips right now. I'm not hungry for food. I'm hungry for to be satiated, to be made happy. A lot of
yeah,
food makes us happy, and you need to deal with, I love how you said, the emotional impact of what is it that's making me want to eat so that I can be happy. Because I'm not really hungry. I'm seeking after a reward of happiness,
correct. Yeah,
right? But what I do is I don't eat after 6:30, and I wait till the next morning to have breakfast, a late breakfast. So that's my, it's a 16/8 fast, whatever. It's
okay.
basically
Yeah,
from 10:30 to 6:30 I eat. Um and then after 6:30 until the morning I don't. I
yeah,
think it's been very helpful for me, and it's not that I'm starving myself. I'm eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but just before a certain time at night. And it's been very helpful. So I would love to watch your video next week, or this week. You say this Wednesday
yeah.
you're going to talk about it?
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday. What's your it's Ken Stewart on
Yeah,
Facebook, right?
yeah. I can still do it on Facebook. Just
It's
look me
just,
up.
yeah, we got to get you a YouTube channel.
I'm working
Hi-
on that.
his video last week was excellent. It was all about, I love how you said, we'll close with this: small wins, small goals. Make a decision about a small goal. I'm going to drink 3 20-ounce bottles of water a day. That starts with it. Then you go from 3 to 6, right? And you
Yeah,
just, I'm going to not eat past 6:30. Small wins, small behaviors. I'm going to exercise 1 time a day. I'm going to do different things.
yeah.
Small wins. It's much better and much more long lasting and cheaper.
Then the
Guys,
$1,400. Yeah,
$1,400 a month, y'all. And
yeah,
that's just now. You know it's gonna balloon. You know it's gonna go more.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, and thank you for sharing that. One small goal a week, whether if it's all right, I want to drink water. My goal is to drink 64 ounces by September 1st. Let me focus on what I want to do now rather than trying to do everything at one time. All right, so small steps to make a lasting impression. So
Trust me, guys, it's much more cost effective that way. You can do it. Be careful. Don't let TikTok and all these videos convince you to do something that could be detrimental to your health and your not just your physical health, but your financial health. Thank you so much, Ken. It's been great. Just hold off. We're gonna close out. Thank you, you guys,
all right, thank you.
for watching. Oh, one more thing before we close. We got to do this more often. So I'm going to try to do this every second Monday. We're going to talk about the financial effects of health decisions. So I call it the health is wealth is health, or health equals wealth, right?
Yes,
Series. Yeah, me and Ken are going to come do this more often. So look out for more conversations about health equaling wealth and how it can impact your financial decisions. Listen, don't spend that $1,400 a month, y'all. Save
go
it.
go buy the book. Go buy this phenomenal STEMIS book.
Take that $10.
Ten
Thanks,
dollars.
Trey. Take that. Oh, 15 actually. Inflation. Take that $15 and buy this book. Thank